Greetings. Welcome to another cup of conversation with me, Nidra Simmons. I am coming on a Saturday. It is a beautiful, colorful Saturday. The sun is out, and I see the leaves. They have changed colors since the last time I've been out here, and they are so vibrant and bright and beautiful in color. It's a beautiful day. Allergies is cutting up, but it's okay. You can hear some of the voice. My voice is fading. It's going in and out. But it's here nevertheless. I want to come on and just have a cup of conversation, perhaps some food for thought. It has been a very interesting week, if I must say so myself. It was a very emotional week, not for me per se, but for people around me. I've witnessed a lot of young people sharing their emotions, expressing a very sensitive side to themselves this week. And I didn't really understand what was going on. During the moment, I'm like, what is going on? Why is everybody so emotional? Why is everybody crying? What's going on? But as I sit here today and I look at things, and even a little small conversation I had today with my son, for the past 3 days, I've noticed the sun and the moon out at the same time. Now, I've never noticed that before in my upcoming life. And I had a conversation with a dear friend as well, and they told me that that's impossible. He said, you mean the sun was going down and then you saw the moon? And I'm like, no, I see the moon behind me and I'm looking forward. I see the sun behind me and I'm looking forward and I see the moon in front of me. And I had a conversation with my son and he said, that's not uncommon down here because you have a lot of open space, a lot of skies. There's no tall buildings that's cutting the vision out so you can't see what's going on. But it's not uncommon to see both of those down here. It was uncommon when I saw it, but then seeing it for 3 days straight led me to, and then I had the conversation with my son. I'm leaning to the fact that it is not uncommon to see both of that take place during the day now. But it was when I first saw it 3 days ago. So saying all that to say, I do believe that, we are energy and things change due to how things around us are moving. And when I first moved down here in North Carolina, the trees were up everywhere. You drove, it was like trees everywhere. Then they started cutting down the trees within the last couple of years to make space for solar panels and different things. So they did a lot of cutting down of trees and using the land for other things. And then when they first cut the trees down, it seemed like the animals were confused because they were so used to these trees always being there. And then all of a sudden they look around, there's no trees. So you had deers running out in the middle of the road. You had all different turtles and everything that was supposed to be hidden into the trees were out in the open, into the roads. So they were confused in my mind. And so all that to say, the reason why these young people were having all these emotions and crying and everything and just being so sensitive was brought to my attention right now, that maybe because of the atmosphere around things that's going on that we can't see with the naked eye, things that you have to see on a different level is what's swerving around this world, and it's just hitting people in all different types of ways. And for young people, which was brought to my attention again this morning, which I already knew, but my son just brought it back to my attention, that, these are young people. They're still learning how to figure out and understand their emotions. So they're going through all these emotions, not knowing what is what. And I'm sitting there like, what is going on? Why is everybody... When you're in the thick of it or in the middle of some things, it's very hard to determine or see what's going on. You have to sometimes get out of the situation, sit back and look at the whole situation to be able to determine what is going on. I apologize for the noise on the outside. I am not inside. I am outside. So you're going to hear a little bit of everything going on out here. But it's not in my ear. It's somewhere over there. So I can't control the tone or the language. So please, I hope my voice is louder so that you can't hear what's going on out there. But saying all that to say previously was because it was just a roller coaster of emotions, expressions, and feelings that was all going on. And my focus was trying to teach and get some things out. But it was like very impossible and hard to do. Not impossible because it got done, but it was very hard to do because you had so many different emotions that was just flaring up and going all over the place like firecrackers were just going off. But not physically, but just imagining all the different things that was going on at one time, just to give an example of what I'm talking about. So saying all that to say, now that I'm sitting down here and I am in peace and quiet, and I'm able to reflect on what was going on, I'm seeing that whatever's going on in the atmosphere, the universe, the different energies that is flaring and going from different places, the seasons, everything is playing a part on how individuals are acting or are responding to certain things. People are not just crying because they want to cry. They're crying because there are feelings, emotions are stirring up in them, and they don't know how to react other than to either lash out and do anything that is not listening or rude or just out of their ordinary, or they're just emotionally water faucets just going out there. So saying all that to say, do not take things personally. Sometimes you just have to take a deep breath and relax and understand that there are things that's going on that is out of your control, but you still can control the narrative because you're there. So if you're around individuals that are going through emotional rants or phases, you can explain to them what it is that they're feeling. You can ask questions. You can try to ease and relax the situation. Or you can even ask for a buddy to come in and they can see their perspective of it, and then y'all can all have a conversation and be able to look at things in a different light and to be able to handle the situation in a more peaceful way than as opposed to being in the middle of what I'm seeing in my vision. If you look at those old cartoons where it's like maybe black and white, and then you see smoke going over here and things going on over there and all this other stuff going on all in one same setting, but it's like chaos, and you just have to remain peaceful in that chaos so that you can still go forward and effectively help others that are not in control, that are on the brinks of being out of control. It just might mean, it just might be that one calm individual that can just go, and as they pass through, they can settle all of the extra excitement that's going on, enough for them to realize, okay, let's breathe. Let's gravitate to relaxing. So as you walk from each section, they're feeling your peace. They're seeing your calmness. They're seeing how you're not overreacting. You're still calm. And then they can pick up on that. So I hope what I said was helpful. I hope what I said made sense. And if it didn't, I'm sorry. Not sorry. But I do believe, and I ask that this message get to those who need to hear it, those who need to receive it. It's important to stay calm. The most calmest area in a storm is in the middle, in the eye of it. So if everything's going chaotic around you, you need to keep that peace within you so that it can spread wider and wider and wider and wider and wider. And then that way the calmness can overcome the storm. Until next time, peace.